Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Daily Ramble here on Claret & Booze. My name's Gary. Got a couple of things to talk about today, so we're going to touch on the Crystal Palace game, do a bit of a mini preview for that. I really want to talk about there needs to be some changes to that game, right? So I want to talk about that. Also, some big news this week is that after the debacle that was the bad decision the other night, not giving us a penalty against Liverpool, it looks like David Moyes could be in trouble for his outburst. And also, finally, I want to talk about the season ticket. So if you're a season ticket holder like me, there's been you will have seen a nice surprise this week in terms of pricing going forward. So I'm going to talk about that, rant about that perhaps. Give this video a watch. If you like it, please give it a like, hit the and subscribe to the channel Claret & Booze, and hit the bell notification icon. So on with the show. Crystal Palace, this is a massive game. This is an absolutely massive game for us because a couple of weeks ago, Sky did a calculation and they come up with this expectation that 34 points would be enough for survival in the Premier League, and that as now they've revised what they said, and what they've said now is it's 38 is the target, or 37 and a superior goal difference, which therefore gives you another point. So that, I think that we have a superior goal difference, better than anybody, right? I mean, remains to be seen what Man City do to us next week, but at the moment we are ahead of everybody. So is all we need literally is one more win. We will probably get away with just one more win. Now, I know we have Leeds at home, we have Leicester away. Really don't want to leave it that late because we've got the European game, the semi-final coming up soon. We want to be able to rest people around that. We don't want to go and have to play a full-strength side against Man City next week, and we want to rotate players for the Man United game as well. We can't carry on playing the same players all the time. I know that's what Dave likes to do, but he's going to wear them out. As we saw the other night against Liverpool, a few of them are looking a little bit tired. There are options tomorrow. I mean, firstly, on Palace, Zaha, it looks like he's been in training this week after being injured for 3 games. So, the level of sulking, if he starts, the level of sulking should be quite high. Bloke don't stop, does he? He's the most hard done by a football player I've ever seen. Looks outraged. From the minute he comes out the tunnel, he looks outraged. Anyway, enough of that. I would propose 3 changes at least. All right, I would. So it's going to be 4-2-3-1, obviously, because that's what we've been playing. Call it 4-3-3 if you want. It's up to you, but it's 4-2-3-1. I think I would rest Souček because he looked knackered the other day. I'd bring Downs into the middle, right? Because that's like for like, and that's what Moyes likes. He likes like for like. I would move Emerson in for Cresswell because they're going to have a lot of pace, especially down the flanks with Eze and Alesi. So we can't afford to be exposed for pace. Now, I'm perfectly comfortable with Soufal down one side. I think he'll do a great job. But down the other side, we can't have Cresswell chasing shadows. So I think that Emerson needs to come in for him. So that's 2 changes. The third change I'd make is I think he's been disappointing in the last few games, and that is Benrahma. I would drop Benrahma to the bench, and I would give Cornet a start. I'd love to do something with Antonio, but I can't think of what to do, to be honest. I mean, you can't bring Ings in. He can't do that job. Moyes won't even consider Mabama, even though I'd love it if he did. So I think Antonio's going to have to play probably 60 minutes or more. But anyway, I'd also like to see, we're talking about Downs in midfield coming in for Souček. I wouldn't mind if he brought Fornals in to do that as well, right? As long as Fornals is in the middle, I don't want to end up with, imagine if you brought Fornals in and parked him on the left, then you could and left Cresswell in the side, you could end up with a disaster. You can end up with a disastrously slow wing. But anyway, a few changes. He's got to rotate. He does have players on the bench. He has good quality on the bench. There's no excuse not to use those players. So come on, Dave. Do what you need to. There's a lot of pressure on this game, and I think we've done really well in recent weeks. I was down for that brilliant game in Bournemouth last week. Absolutely outstanding. You know, we were unlucky against Liverpool. I was actually in Zurich the other night watching that in a bar. Arsenal game was on at the same time, and it was a bar. It had about 15 screens. 14 of them were showing Arsenal. Now I know it's like the title clash and everything else, but there were quite a few Liverpool fans in the pub as well, and I was literally the only West Ham fan there. I was asked to move. I was asked to move by an Arsenal fan. Can you move back a bit, mate? Because I can't see Arsenal up there. I said, well, there's 14 other screens you can look at. Why don't you look at one of them? Anyway, look. That's right. It was grim. That was grim the other night. We clearly should have had a penalty. No one can deny we should have had a penalty. I know people come up and say, but it evens itself out over a season because of Souček. No, it doesn't even itself out. No, we've been mugged off much more than that this season. Remember Antonio at the beginning of the season. Remember that goal against Chelsea that Cornet had disallowed. You know, it was, and look, you can't do this whataboutery where you say, because we maybe should have given a penalty with Souček, that makes this one all right. No, it doesn't. And David Moyes was absolutely right to blow his top after the game and say that it was, I can't remember the name, he basically said that it was disrespectful. It was disrespectful of VAR to not have a second look. And I completely agree with David Moyes in this instance. And you know I'm not his biggest supporter, but I completely agree with him. He was absolutely right to go on that rant. Now, far from, you remember a few weeks ago when Brighton got absolutely mugged at Tottenham, should have had a penalty. They got a grovelling apology from PG Mole on the Monday morning saying, very sorry, Brighton. We meant to give you a penalty. We really should give you a penalty. Anyway, that was the second apology they've had, Brighton, because they've been mugged twice. Honestly, it's as if there's a conspiracy to stop them qualifying for the European places. Yeah, don't say that too loud. But this time, not only is there no apology, apparently the FA are more focused on not apologising, actually charging David Moyes for bringing the game into disrepute, for daring. That's not nice. For daring to be outspoken for a massive miscarriage of justice. Well, you got to be able to talk. All right, bring the referee out. Let the referee explain himself. Let the VAR official explain himself as to why he didn't ask the referee to go and have another look. Anyway, look, I'm ranting now. Getting like Nick. Right. So look, that's that. I think they've got their priorities wrong. They should be apologising to us, and they shouldn't be prosecuting David Moyes. So look, on the relax. On with the final item on my little ramble list is season tickets. Now, if you're a season ticket holder like me, you will have seen announcements come out this week about pricing for the 2023-24 season, and you would have seen an average price. If you're in band 1 to 4, like me, your tickets are going up 8%. Thank you very much. If you're band 5 to 6, then your tickets are going up 4%. I know someone's conveniently averaged it across the tiers and said, that's only a 6% rise on average. Well, no, that only works if you've got an equal number of seats in the tiers, right? That's how averages work. You can't just do it that way. So no, it's two separate rises, 8% and 4%. You could say they've targeted the 4% at the people with the cheaper tickets, which is the right thing to do, and I agree. But nonetheless, 8% is greedy. Really greedy, and that's what I want to focus on, because you know the stuff that's coming out of the club, and they're saying the average across the league is 7.25, and so our average is 6, and we're below that. No, wrong, right? Because four out of the 6 bands, the most expensive tickets have gone up 8%, right? So don't average it out, because that doesn't work. So look, 8% is what I'm going to focus on. You look at the other teams: Arsenal 5%, Brentford 0, Brighton 4. Who else we got that's low? Leicester 0, Liverpool 2%, Man United 5%, Spurs 0%. Right, there are a few that haven't announced yet. We don't know what they're going to announce. Wolves, that's Newcastle, Palace. And Chelsea, they've not been announced yet. And there are a few that are above us. Villa have gone up 15% for some reason. I don't know why. Fulham, 18%. And that newsstand, have a guess, 225% rise for that new stand that they've built. Absolutely unbelievable, right? And then you've got Nottingham Forest, who are going up 18%, and the junior tickets are going up 58%. So when you look at the worst sinners, it's West Ham actually looks all right. But when you look at the vast majority, it looks like West Ham are taking the piss a little bit, going in with 8%. After all, we don't own a football stadium, right? We rent a football stadium. It's a fixed cost, right? We don't have to pay additional energy prices if to turn the floodlights on. We don't pay for extra security. We don't pay for catering around the ground, so food costs have gone up. A lot of the that sort of stuff is fixed. We don't give the players an 8% inflationary pay rise, right? So we are a very different case to a lot of these other clubs. I can see why some of these clubs have put their tickets up, because probably their cost base has gone up as well, right? I wonder how much the average pay rise was for staff at West Ham. Talking about non-playing staff, I wonder if all of the non-playing staff got an 8% pay rise. I guarantee they didn't. Right, but even if they did, that'd be a drop in the ocean compared to what they're going to be scavenging off of us with this rise. And the way they've worked it out, and they said, do you remember at the beginning of this, I said they're saying it's an average of 7.25% in the rest of the league. Yeah, that includes the outrageous ones like Forest 18% and Villa 15% and things like that, right? If you did an average over the reasonable ones, it would be a lot lower. Right, the big numbers help out those averages significantly. So listen, this is greed from West Ham, pure greed. This is like a lot of corporations have been doing during. They've got a couple of excuses. They've got COVID, they've got Ukraine, they've got the oil price, the gas price, and what they've done is they've basically artificially inflated their prices. That's driven up inflation. West Ham are jumping on board with that little bandwagon. There is no reason for them to do this, but they're going to do it anyway. Anyway, that's me. Bloody hell, this has been a bit ranty today. Apologies for that. But if you've enjoyed this little rant, please subscribe to our channel, Claret and Booze. Give the video a like and hit the bell notification icon. Until next time, see you soon, and come on, you irons!